I wanted to make a video to share with you how I was able to build a full-time income in my first year as a Beachbody coach, also working full-time. So going back to the beginning, I signed up to be a coach at the very end of July 2013, and I kind of started apprentice coaching and getting into it at the beginning of August 2013. Also at that time, I was starting my very first full-time teaching position because I just convocated that spring. So I started my very first full-time teaching job and I started Beachbody coaching all at the exact same time. So some people would think I was pretty crazy, but it worked out awesome. It allowed me to really prioritize my time, really plan, stay organized, set my hours, and make the most of my time. Working more doesn't mean you're going to be more successful. Using that time wisely and working more effectively, working smarter is what is going to allow you to be successful. So at the beginning, while I was working full-time, I only worked my Beachbody business 1 to 2 hours a day because that is essentially all I had. I started off having my business time in the afternoon. So I would wake up early, I would work out, I would go to school for my 8-9 hours to teach, and then I would come home and work my Beachbody business for 1 to 2 hours. I found I was getting super distracted in the afternoon, so I did a switch up. I decided to start waking up early and putting in my 1 to 2 hours of Beachbody in the morning, going to school, coming home and working out instead. And that essentially is what I have stuck with. I find I'm more focused. There's not as many distractions in the morning. And working out in the afternoon or evening lets me kind of de-stress and burn off some steam from the day, and I have more energy. So that's how I did it. Now, I was very focused on my Beachbody Power Hour to-do list, and that is what I did daily. It was non-negotiable. That's what I did, and I set my hours. I only responded to messages during those 1 to 2 hours in the morning, and then they'd have to wait until the next day. The odd day I would respond in the evening if I was signing up challengers or something was needed. So that's what I did. But usually it was just in those hours, and I think that's what really helped me stay sane. I find a lot of coaches try and run the business throughout the whole day, and they're always on their phone, and that starts to take away from your family time and your life. So treat this business like a business and set your business hours. So I successfully went through my first year of teaching and also my first year of Beachbody coaching, and ended the year making more as a Beachbody coach than I was as a teacher. So I would have to say that's pretty successful. And I'm finishing off the year as a 1-star diamond coach, almost 2-star qualifying. So currently I am only going to be substitute teaching this year and Beachbody coaching, and also helping my boyfriend open up his own franchise. So Beachbody coaching essentially has allowed me to have freedom in doing what I want to do. It's been an absolutely amazing feeling designing the life that I've always wanted, and for my future family, I'm going to get to be able to be there all the time. I get to take my kids to school, I get to pick them up at lunch. I'm always going to be here for them. Which is so rewarding. And also to have that income that's stable, and that, I mean, I went to school for 5 years to be a teacher and paid to become it. And in Beachbody, I invested $40. I did buy a challenge pack and Shakeology, obviously. And within a year, I'm making more than I did teaching. So it's pretty remarkable. So I wanted to share a little bit of income with you and show you what's possible. However, this is different for every single individual. You can coach for 10 years and be only making $50 a month. You can be coaching for, 2 months, and you could be making more than me. So it's very individual. It's what you put into it that's going to be what you get out. So I'm going to show you some numbers here. All right, so this was a post I did probably about a month ago, actually. My boyfriend and I, that's who's in the picture, we were on the road for 5 weeks training for a franchise business that he is opening. So that means we were training for 8, 9, 10 hours a day So that meant I once again had to be very strategic about when I was going to work on my business. So that was a 5 a.m. wake up, and I was working at 2 to 3 hours in the morning time. So in 2 weeks, while we were on the road, we made just under $3,000. So that is essentially more than I was making as a teacher. And if you break that down to what you're making hourly, it is a lot more, because I'm only working 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm not working 8 or 9 hours like I was teaching. So if I move on to, this is a screenshot I took. Essentially in Beachbody, we get paid weekly, so each one of these lines is a week, and this was for my first year. So at the bottom, you can see that's what I've made in a year of Beachbody coaching. And as a new coach, I didn't make anything because I was just learning. And then you can see it increases. This was probably when I apprenticed coached, and I invited some of my friends to do a challenge group with me. And a few of them trusted me enough, but they're still doing programs and challenge groups with me now. So they're loving it. I became an Emerald coach here. That means I signed up 2 coaches under me, and they were building a business now as well. And as you can see, it ranges here. A lot of this income was based off commission. And then once I hit Diamond here, that is really when my team started to grow, and I started to help others become very successful and lead their own at-home businesses. And near the top here, you can start to see I'm in over the $1,000 a week category, and I was becoming a 1-star Diamond coach. Now this is a closer breakdown of what the weekly paychecks look like. So for example, this was my first paycheck. Well, the first 2 were $0, so I didn't really get any paycheck. This is the first one that actually was money. So this is all commission. So I probably sold 1 challenge pack, 1 or 2 things. Here was when I was an Emerald. And once you become an Emerald coach, you get team cycles. So that means I have a little bit of team growth going on. And still most of my income is coming from commission. Here is where I became a Diamond coach, and you really start to see my business starting to grow. However, most of my income is still coming from commission. Remember, this is per week. And here, this is really where you start to see the difference. Once you start to become a leader, that is when your business is going to thrive. When you start having coaches on your team be successful in building their own businesses, that's when you're really going to start to see you succeeding. So my commission hasn't changed. This business is not about selling stuff. This is about helping your team succeed. So here you can see most of my income is now coming from my team being successful. So that is the breakdown of how I built a full-time income in my first year as a Beachbody coach. But I do want to tell you, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If that's what you're needing, I wouldn't go here. This is a you get what you put into it business. For our benefit, all the resources are there. Our team shares absolutely everything. We're part of the top team in Beachbody. It's not about reinventing the wheel. We have trainings. It's phenomenal because everything's there for you. It's just a matter of you learning it, putting your own flavor on it, and applying it to yourself. You have so much support. The support in the family of Beachbody is essentially what makes me love it. It's being surrounded by these positive people that are always trying to grow and be better is what drives me. I'm constantly in an environment that's pushing me to be better, and that's my ultimate goal. And that's why I love Beachbody, because the #1 focus is to make you better so that you can go out and help others lead their best lives and their healthiest and happiest lives. And what job could be essentially better than that? We get paid to share with people and help people get happy and healthy. And no, it may not be the most ordinary way of making a living. Do you think people looked at me like I was crazy when I decided to not teach this full-time this year and do some computer work, is what my family likes to call it. Yeah, they thought I was crazy. Tons of people still think I'm crazy. And they think that, oh, this will end next month. But as long as I stick with what I believe and what I know is possible, that's what matters. This is what I want. This is the life I want to design for my future family, and that's what matters. It may not be conventional, but this world isn't conventional. This is always changing. Who's to say the business you're working for won't throw in the towel and won't go bankrupt next week and you could be out of a job? This allows me to have control over myself and my business. There's no ceiling. I don't have to put in more hours to make a bigger income. I don't have to put in more years to grow my income, because essentially as a teacher, that's the only way you build an income, is if you go back to school or if you just put in another year. This business, I get to take control over that, which is the best feeling ever. So if you have any questions at all or just want to chat, I'll put my information below. I would love to answer questions or just chat with you, share with you what our team is all about, because as I make this video, we are ranked number 4 in all of Canada and number 62 in the whole company, which is 200 and some thousand coaches, and that's just in our first year. It started with little old me, and that's where we're at right now. So we are upward and onward. This is just the beginning. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I hope it helped break it down a little bit, but just remember, this is a result of a lot of hard work, dedication, and doing the daily behaviors that are required. No, it does not take tons of time, as long as your time is effective, but it does take discipline, and it takes doing those daily behaviors that are easy not to do, but they are easy to do. And I was disciplined in making sure I got them done every day. I didn't see results in the first week. I didn't see results in the first month or the second month or the third month. It wasn't really till a year that I started to see those little daily behaviors pay off. And that's, I think, what our society struggles with, is wanting those quick fixes, is wanting those quick results, and if they don't get them, they give up. And it's really too bad, because if you stick with Beachbody for a year, 2 years, and do those daily behaviors that just kind of keep you going like this, all of a sudden they're going to start going like this and start compounding. So if you put in the effort and wait and have patience and put in the time, I guarantee you, you'll be amazed at the opportunities that this can bring. I hope this helps. Please get in contact with me if you have any questions or want to chat.